Hi, friend. Welcome to SuzieShaman Daily Message. Today's Wednesday, January 5th, 2022, and I am sitting next to my wood stove by my fireplace. It's cold. It is cold in New Hampshire right now. All over the East Coast, I think it's cold. So maybe you can feel the warmth radiating to you through the video. I'm coming to you today to talk to you about a certain concept, the concept of unity consciousness, and about a couple of important teachers in my life, and to tell you about something I will be offering in February. So unity consciousness. So this is the concept that we're all one, that this is one reality. And that we're not separate from one another, and that we're not separate from nature, we're not separate from the earth, that it's all one. And this is what the major spiritual traditions have been teaching since long before religions ever existed. And it can be hard to grab this. It can be hard to understand this concept. It's been hard for me. So one of my favorite teachers is Dr. Deepak Chopra. He is an MD. And Dr. Chopra, I've been listening to one of his meditation series in the morning, and a few days ago in the morning, he said something that just lit a spark for me. And I thought, I get it now. I get it. And he said, we're having an individual experience of a universal awareness. An individual experience of a universal awareness. And I thought, that makes sense to me. And so I'm having my own experience. I exist in this body. Other people around me and other creatures around me exist in their own experience. And we all make choices and decisions. And I when I struggle with unity, I feel like, I didn't help make the decision that this other person made that could have caused harm to me. At least I don't feel that way in the moment. And so then how do I respond? And then I also have another favorite teacher of mine, SuzieQ, talks about we don't need boundaries because of this oneness. And I think, but I need boundaries. I need boundaries so that I can manage my individual experience of this universal awareness. Maybe one day, if I am as elevated as SuzieQ, maybe I won't need boundaries, but I need boundaries now. And so, talking about this oneness, and I'm going to talk a little bit about religion. So, I grew up in the Christian tradition, specifically the Episcopal Church, going to church every Sunday, Sunday school, acolyting, singing in the choir, and sort of a very strong foundation in the Christian tradition. And all of my young adult life and adult life, I have navigated and journeyed how to have my spiritual journey within the Christian tradition. And it's been a really interesting journey to figure this out because I don't tend to like dogma, and I don't tend to like a lot of rules, or when I'm at church and I read the Nicene Creed, I read it through a critical lens and I think, do I really believe that? I think that's a plus. I wish and hope everybody would read these things with a questioning mind, because that keeps us alive, that keeps us alert. And so another I have three big teachers with my journey, with understanding my Christian tradition and my faith with my spiritual life. The first one I'm going to tell you about, and maybe she'll be listening to this video, is my high school humanities teacher, Jane Vogt. And that class changed my life. That class really put me in uncomfortable places, and it stretched my mind. And so I remember one of the first things I think that we did in that class is we read parts of the book of Genesis from the Bible, and then or from the Old Testament, and we read the Babylonian creation myth, and we did a compare and contrast. And then we did the same thing with other books or sections of the Bible with other pieces of old ancient literature. I don't remember all the comparisons we made, but I remember another one reading the Epic of Gilgamesh. And it was in that, I was 17 and 18 years old when I started to learn, these stories, these are stories, these are myths. And don't mistaken me, the word myth, I'm not using the word myth as in non-fact, like, healthcare myths or healthcare facts. A myth is a really beautiful, incredible, rich story full of symbolism. And so I began to see the symbolism. And when I began to see the symbolism, I began to have a much deeper appreciation for my Christian foundation. I remember being in 4th grade and at Sunday school talking about Jonah and the whale, and I thought, ain't no way that happened. That is not logical. And my young mind was so literal that I could not appreciate the story. I could not appreciate the myth and the symbolism. And so as I got older, then I was like, being in the belly of the beast, going into the darkness, transforming, emerging back out. Okay, I get it. And the next really important teacher in my life for this was Joseph Campbell. He was a professor at Sarah Lawrence University, and he had a series called The Power of Myth that I watched a long time ago, not when it first came out on public television. He was interviewed by Bill Moyers, but I watched a recording of it later, and I've rewatched it numerous times. I love it. It's so meaningful to me, and it helps me go deeper and deeper and deeper with my understanding of life and of spirit and of the spiritual path. And Joseph Campbell talked about the archetypes and the myths that are so important to humankind and have been around long before the main religions of the world ever existed. And I love learning that. I love learning what have we human beings been doing since Homo sapiens showed up on the face of this earth. I love that. So, Joseph Campbell helped me take it to another level. I was probably in my 30s when that happened. I'm 52 now. The next main big teacher for me in this journey is somebody I discovered a couple of years ago, and I just finished about a year and a half now of reading his emails almost daily. And that is a Catholic monk, Franciscan monk, and Christian mystic named Richard Rohr. Father Richard Rohr. He founded the Center for Action and Contemplation in New Mexico. And if you don't know of him, I would highly recommend that you Google him and go watch one of his videos. He's just a whole presence that is incredible. And his last name is spelled R-O-H-R, Richard Rohr. And so he's really helped me to understand what a Christian mystic is. And I realized I am a Christian mystic. And one of the things that was in his email today that I'm going to read to you is, and now I want to say, whether you're religious, whether you subscribe to any religious beliefs or no religious beliefs, and no matter what religious beliefs they are, I think this applies, right? And so I'm going to pause before I read and say something that is popping up for me. I often think about, when I hear and talk about Jesus, I think Jesus is accessible for everyone, no matter your religion or non-religion, because I think about the man, Jesus of Nazareth, who walked this earth just like you and me. He was, a human being who walked on the earth, and what he did. And if you go back and read about the just purely historical, the man, you realize that he was somebody who had recognized unity consciousness. He had recognized that we are all one, and therefore we need to love one another. And he had recognized that not only are we all one, but he had recognized that we're each one with God, with the divine, with the creator. And we don't need a mediator. We don't need to go to the temple and pay a lot of money that we don't even have to buy a lamb to then take to the altar and be sacrificed, or, I don't know, I might have the details wrong. He was like, no, bullshit on that. You can access God yourself. You don't need some mediator. You don't have to pay money. You don't have to sacrifice things. You just need to go within. You need to get quiet, and you need to go within, and you need to listen for that deep God voice within you, because it's in there, because we're all one. And Father Richard Rohr has helped me see and understand that even more this year. And so I'm going to read to you from today's email. And the theme of today's email is creating a people. And this says, the body of Christ is inherently a collective reality. Father Richard emphasizes that to live the gospel, we need each other. And then these are Father Richard's words. The body of Christ, the spiritual family, is God's strategy. It is both medium and message. It is both beginning and end. And then he quotes from the book of John, chapter 17, verses 21 to 23. May they all be one, so that the world may believe it was you who sent me, that they may be one as we are one, with me in them and you in me. And so I appreciate when Father Richard Rohr shows me the places in the Christian Bible that talk about the unity consciousness, that talk about that I am one with God. I am one with the Christ consciousness. I am the Christ consciousness. I am God, and that we are all one with each other. And so this loops me back around to Dr. Deepak Chopra and listening to him say the other day, we are having an individual experience of a universal awareness. And this past year, 2021, was a year where, without knowing it, maybe I knew it back in last January, but I really focused on boundaries and setting boundaries and how to craft better boundaries in my life. And I struggled, though, because I didn't want to close myself off to other people. I didn't want to close myself off to the unity. But I've spent so much of my life feeling consumed by the unity that I didn't have, as I've struggled in my life to have a clear sense of well, who am I? Who am I separate from the other people around me? Like most empaths, I can quickly take on other people's feelings and experience, no problem, and feel it deeply. But that doesn't necessarily serve me well. I've learned it doesn't serve me to take on your pain, because then it overwhelms me, and then I'm of no service to you. So this has been a big thing for me. I would say this last year, but the past couple of years. Maybe it's as I approached and came into my 50s, is how to craft better boundaries in my life so that I can be more available to the universal awareness. And so I'm thankful for all the teachers in my life that have helped me on my spiritual path and helped me navigate my way on this journey. And it's time, and that's why what I'm doing lately, that's why I'm making these videos. That's why I'm teaching courses now. It's time for me to give that back. It's time for me to help you on your spiritual journey. It's time for me to be your shaman. And that's what a shaman is. A shaman is a seer and a knower. And I've always been that. And I have this really incredible capacity to assist people on their journey, wherever they are on their journey. So I'm doing that through various means now. And so what I have coming up in February is a course. It'll be either 3 or 4 classes. I'm not sure what yet. Thursday night, 7 p.m. on crafting loving boundaries. And so I'm planning to share with you what I've spent the past couple of years learning about how to craft boundaries in your life so that you can manage this individual experience while you're living in this universal awareness. Now that might sound a little heady and lofty and philosophical, but if you know me, you know that I'm all about practical tools and strategies. So that's what I teach in my classes, is practical tools that you can use on a daily basis to help you cultivate greater sense of peace and ease, calm and joy in your life. Because getting all that in your life, it's an inner job. It's not about what's going on around you. It's not about the whirlwind of chaos politically or in the other people in your life. It's an inner job. And I'm here to help you with that. So I hope this message was helpful. And if you made it this far to the end, I thought this was going to be a short message, but it is what it is. I'll be sharing links to sign up for that class soon. Sending you deep love wherever you are. No matter when you're listening to this, the love's coming through. Thanks for listening. Bye for now.